morning. It is Friday the 22nd. I was not sure if I was going to be out today. I am, obviously. We are returning to the area north of the Five Bogs that we were at last week, the swampy area. We, in reviewing the map, didn't get in as far as we could, so we're going to start out doing that today. My plans are already in a state of flux, so we're going to kind of play the latter part of the day by ear, but we are going to start out anyway doing a swamp recon of this area. So we're going to get going, and it's about 9 o'clock. Beautiful day, 70 degrees. Quick weather report. Bugs not so bad so far, and we're going to get moving. We're recording. So, long story short, we didn't bring our hip waders today because the nature of hiking long distances in them are not conducive to happy skin tissue when you start factoring in sweat and rubbing up against and abrasive type injuries. So today we went with a more kind of, I guess we'll say, home-baked solution. And we actually want to get down there, but I always end up having to go around this damn thing. Oh well. This is a unscheduled test of my ingenuity slash agility, and so far so good. Testimony to cordage and weird use thereof, but this is what I wanted. And we are going to go in from here. Just make sure we're still recording, so this isn't wasted effort. The thing that happened last week that was unexpected, and bear with me as I do kind of have to gauge depth, 3D depth. This isn't that deep, but it's slippery though, which is why I opted for different boots today. That was the one particular failing of my hip waders was, yes, they keep your feet dry, but they're really not good on slippery terrain. So you need traction too. So let's get a quick look around. And what we're looking for is behind this. We got to the initial stretch of wetland, but not really what we were looking for. So I've just come to the acceptance that my regular hiking boots will be drying out in the sun later, and they're just getting wet because traction actually is a bigger factor walking through this than keeping your feet dry. There are ways around that. In case you're wondering what I did, I'm not going to dwell on it too much because it does look stupid, but a couple of heavy-duty garbage bags and some paracord, and you know, my boots are soaked, my feet are not. So you don't have to worry about, again, abrasion and blister factor with the nature of, let me just take a mental note of my way in and out of this. We're not that far in. Ooh, snakel. Yeah, I'll leave you alone if you don't. Unless you want to get caught, and then I can show the people a snakel. Although it's nothing more than a common garter snake. Come here, you. Come here. It's okay. And notice if you don't menace him, he's not biting. He just wants to be on his way. All right. Come here, buddy. There you go. For those of you that hate snakes, hopefully that, if only momentarily, proved that he wasn't so bad. He just wanted to go on his way. So, for all the wildlife that my other camera in the car didn't pick up as I was driving in, basically ruffled grouse and a couple of some kind of squirrel, not gray squirrel, something else. They I doubt they were on camera. Nothing major like a moose though. So from here, our target is back here, and I'm gonna stick to the area that I know kind of matches up on the map. And yeah, the major thing with the hip waders, walking on this loose rocky stuff, not ideal. I didn't kill myself or anything, but it's easier when you got actual hiking boots that have actual hiking-esque treads, and you can actually get some traction. It's easier than going through. Somebody had a nice little camping spot here again. And actually, before the other Nezin member couldn't make it, our initial plan was actually to camp here in the river, on the riverbank, and see how that worked. And what are we gonna do here? Since walking on the rocks is a pain in the butt. But yeah, this is a lot better with actual boots that have grip, because these big rocks are deceptively slippery otherwise. But the sad commentary for Cabela's brand hip waders, it did cost a little bit of money. My home baked solution here is actually working much better. So ingenuity is the mother of invention, and a blow to corporate greed, I guess. Little current there. And some of you may remember this. At least I know it's solid this time and I can get through, because I got to figure out how to get from here kind of over there, which means I'm going to have to. And now my pant legs are getting wet though because of the dew factor, but nothing's perfect. Okay, let me figure I got to somehow go through this to get to that. Like I said, it looks stupid, but it is actually working fairly well. I just need to... That's not too bad now that I see it. It's actually probably built up over an old beaver dam. But let's get out of my way. Factor out, or factor the way through this, as this stuff is rather deep. And that, based on past experience, can make me a little nervous, only because I don't know where I'm putting my feet all the time. And sometimes the ground is level, and sometimes, like now, it is not. This damn log being... Okay, now we're down on the muddy shore, and I can see what I'm doing better for the moment. And for those that are enjoying me muck around in the mud, we're kind of going over there. If we can find this negotiable, as now mud is becoming a factor. You didn't hear that lovely suction sound. Yeah, so, bottom line, if I can get up into that, then my target is easy. It's the matter of doing that, though. Without farting around like that. Yeah, this is all sinky mud shit. That is the problem. The joys of terrain. Yeah, that's all swampy. Well, you knew you're doing swampy crap today, so the question is how hard to get from A to B here, because you need basically solid ground, not this muddy stuff. So how bad is this? It's itchy enough. Yeah, you're gonna sink right into that. I think, though, this is doable. Minus some stumbling through this lovely stuff to get over to actual forest, God forbid. Also starting to see a use case for how Squatchy would not come in here, because there's no way in hell that he's not leaving tracks in this muddy shit. It cannot be done. It's just, this stuff is so counterproductive to stealth. There's a moose. Case to my point. Alright, point of entry into the wood line. Once I get around and see what's on the other side of the tall grass. Like this goddamn thing trying to trip me. So I can probably just go over here. Little minnows for bait fish if you ever wanted to fish in here. So I will attempt to get a scenic shot of this if I don't kill myself crossing in and getting the pines in the way. I would very much like to get out of this mud at this point. So once I get through these two and avoid some eye pokers, we're actually in the woods again. So fun. So there is effectively one big wetlands, and if I get adventurous, another one down the way. The question begging itself, can I get through there without having to go all the way down the river? Because as fun as that seems, it isn't. And for, again, the structure aficionados, there's a big naturally occurring X. Those that want to go into the comments on the channel later and argue against it being natural, knock yourselves out. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. think if I can get up this hill, this may get me around a lot of this deadfall stuff. Just going through this is going to be easier said than done too. I get to see how encumbering my waterproofing is as I try to go through real woods here. I figure if I get to the high ground, I get the best vantage point, obviously, too, though. So, there's a lot of deadfall in here. I was about to say this might actually be a good camping spot, but maneuvering this at night, good God. Good luck with that. Working up a sweat just getting through this stuff. Going up on the hill is a good call. Just like Manitou, there's a lot of pine coverage blocking the view of the actual wet spot, or the wetland up here. So, move. This is ridiculous, because this is pretty damned impenetrable. I'm going to get over to that bald spot over there. This down wood is like a grid of down wood. This is insane. It really is. Okay. So, it's amazing how nicked up I'm not. So I'm trying to find a good view of this charming wetland. What was that? I just had a vocal on the other side of this thing. Not sure of what, but ain't people. Pretty sure of that. So I don't know what that was. Not a bird, not people. Huh. I really hope I got that on the recording, then maybe somebody can lend some theory to that. I'm gonna get a nice little clip of this just to, if I can stay from. So this is the wetland and surrounding area, just to show you what I just came through to get here. The GoPro got it too, but I like redundancy in video. Multiple perspective, and just to make the note too, I think the GoPro probably got it, but a vocal of some kind on the other side of the wetland here. I don't know what it was. So that's a crow. That's not what it was before. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. Okay. Next mission, let's see if I can actually get out into this thing. Which again, it's hard to see where you're putting your feet. And it's easy to trip because you got all this deadfall to kind of step around over, etc. What the hell was that video? Was that vocal? I don't know that I really... Now it's all pines, I'm not doing that. I have to get up on this rock and have a look. That might be better. I'll take this, because that gives me a better... But yeah, this is the wetland. Not easy to get to, as you can tell. But there is something out here with us. Not just peeper frogs. And for the sake of orienteering towards the 5 bogs, they are basically in line that way to where I was a couple of videos ago. If you go and hit the backside of the trees and backtrack probably half a mile, maybe a mile, you'll come out on the backside of that pond I was on a couple of weeks ago. But maybe in a future attempt, what I'm going to do is look on the map and try to follow the stream into this thing, because the amount of pine and uncertain terrain makes getting in here a real pain in the butt. And even down there, it's even thicker, I think. Let me get down from this thing without killing myself. Yeah, and hip waders, this would have been hazardous, to coin a phrase with all this crap. I've given up all hope of any element of stealth in here, but I'm like, let's just not step down, fall, and have one of these things poke through my leg. I'll take that at this point. Yeah, so any blind spot in here, that's thick stuff. I'm going to go back down the hill, and I am going to... The reason why I used heavy garbage bags too is lighter ones would honestly have just been ripped to shreds in this stuff. They wouldn't have lasted long. Too many little things like him in the way, grabbing at things. Once you get a hole in it, your entire premise is defeated. This is really thick stuff, man. I don't even know why I'm taking pictures. It's just really, really thick. I really wish this camera would work better. High pixel, but the Samsung phone is not my favorite. I like my old Motorola as a phone much better. It just performed better in terms of not doing the unexpected, such as last year doing a factory reset in the middle of the woods with no help from me, with no signal to finish it. Yeah, I don't want you poking me in the groin if that's all the same. That is just really thick. One thing about this place is a bug-infested campsite. If you weren't stupid enough to move around at night, I don't think you'd have to worry about bears and shit, because I really don't think a bear would want to come through this. To be honest, I really don't think any large animal would want to put up with all the pokey stuff. That, maybe a beaver. But beyond that, I really don't think anything would want to come in here. You've got like your own little thorn fortress like natives in some part of Africa use to keep lions out. Apparently that's enough to keep the big kitties from wanting to come in and get all poked up to get you. They'll wait till you come out. Yeah, so give me a second here to look around. Unless there's another more obvious way into this, I don't think there's a direct way in without getting all chewed up and God damn you. And actually, I'm surprised I'm not getting grabbed at more by this lovely stuff. Good practical use for low martial arts kicks, though. Clearing out the riffraff so you can get to the other side again. Yeah, I'm looking. I'm not seeing a... That's like a big line of pines. It's literally like what Manitou is like. It is surrounded with very few exceptions for little openings in the pine stuff. We are going to fall back to the river now, and in the course of doing that, explore the river a bit. Because as I stated before, I don't really... The original plan was an overnighter, and now that I'm doing this solo, the day's a little more freeform. I could have just come in here. Oh well. The day's a little bit more freeform as far as what I may or may not do.